Hi there, welcome to my channel. This is your host, Dancing Johari, and well, today we have some changes to go over. This is a bit on the personal side for me, and it is a little hard for me to talk about, but I'm going to do my best anyway. Well, you see, part of it is the reason why I've made another new mini-me. I didn't feel that my old one was accurate. Actually, it hasn't been accurate all along, which is okay, but I also want to promote a more body positive outlook on my channel, so I figured why not be more honest with myself. So with no further ado, here she is, my brand new mini-me. As you can see, this is a curvier, shorter doll than the last one, and well, it's also got more of my complexion. I also don't have to worry about damage to the doll's eyelashes or other parts of her body. After all, my old mini-me did have a broken neck twice. This also means that yes, we will have a logo change, so really quick, from the top! This doesn't mean that I love her any less. Rather, I will always cherish her. Anyway, blow us a kiss, Johari. Mwah! And well, it's time to get on with today's doll. And it is a doozy. It's a delightful ball-jointed bunny. We need to string it, paint it, give it clothes, and well, we just gotta get started. To the workstation! I give you the Dollightful Bunny. Lady Dynamite Creates sent this to me as a gift, and well, I love it. She knows I love delightful stuff. And so let's start getting it ready. First, I had to drill holes with the tiniest bit I could find for my hand drill for the joints. So little. I also forgot to mention that I have a new Patreon creator account, so please feel free to check it out. The link will be in the description box below, along with a link for the thingiverse for Dollightful's STL files for her bunny. Then I've fitted wire in, trimmed it, and secured it with UV resin. I just put on the tiniest blob and used my handheld UV lamp to secure it. Now, according to Dollightful, these should slide under the bars with the help of tweezers, but man, that is tiny. I think I drilled the holes too low. Oh no. Maybe I could still get it to work? Well, I even tried using straight, tiny, smallest tools that I have, including a thread crochet hook and a knitting needle. And well, I ended up cracking the joint on this one. So I just repaired it with a little blob of UV resin. Although later on I did end up replacing this particular leg anyway. But now the cord actually fits perfectly underneath scissors and my thread crochet hook. I fed the cord through the crotch to secure both legs first. I secured the one leg, then fed the cord up through the neck hole. I did try to bring it up directly through the armhole, but it was just not having it. I had to feed it up through the neck hole first, and then use a crochet hook and tweezers, and even used a pin to push it through to the other side so I could grab it. Those holes are tiny, man. There we go. And well, I did try to feed this one through under the bar, but yeah, there's just no room. Believe it or not, this is the tiniest stringing cord I have. So I just bent to the will of the gods and made some tiny S hooks. I do suggest if you do this, just maybe make the doll a little bit bigger, or if you're going to do it at this size, just be prepared with S hooks ahead of time. Or perhaps maybe just really be careful about where you put your placement of your wire and make sure it's really teeny tiny wire. Okay, once I got the S hook connected, it was a matter of making sure that the S hook itself fit into the hole. As I said, there's not much room. Well, let's try the other side. This other side's going to need S hooks too. Time for some editing magic. And voila! There's not a lot of space in that neck hole, so I fed a loop of jewelry wire down through the neck hole, fed the bungee cord through it, and pulled it back up through the neck hole with a little bit of, tugging, pulling, etc. My god, it's so cute. Let's put on the head. So I fed both ends of the elastic through, tied a big knot, and left it on the biggish side, and trimmed it. Oh, it's so cute. You want it to be just tight enough that everything can still move, but will hold a pose. Once it's trimmed, wow, it's so little. It's so cute too. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I really do adore her. Let's get started on the face up. Taking some oil-free eyeshadows, I started with blushing. And honestly, there was more blushing in this video than I've done on any single doll in the past, I think. First, I blushed the inside of the ears with some pink. And I kept a brush handy to sweep away excess, and a kneaded eraser to erase mistakes. Next, I blushed the nose. Then I went ahead and outlined the nose and the lips with a pink watercolor pencil. Next, taking a tan color, I decided to begin blushing and adding contrast to the ears. I decided I wanted this to be a cream and tan bunny. And well, the resin is a perfect cream already, although it becomes even more so throughout the blush up, as you'll see. I also outlined the outside of the ears with a little bit of the darker color. Don't forget to do the backs of the ears too. I really had a great time just playing with this doll. Despite how small she is, she really is just a lot of fun to work with. Or he. Depends on how you look at it. This is definitely giving me female vibes as I work on it. I use the same tan makeup to continue to bring out the details on the hands, or the paws, rather, the legs, and make different spots of color all over the body. Also, don't forget to do the back of the headpiece cap if you're planning on adding any color to the head on the back side, because otherwise it'll look funny. At this point, I also began to blush over the eyes. Going at first with a light contrasting color, but then I ended up going in with a darker color because it just was not showing up. I also outlined the markings that I was going for and the edges of the ears with a watercolor pencil. And then I added a little bit more blushing. Of course, before I even began my face up, she had 2 coats of Mr. Super Clear. It's amazing, all these tiny little details that are in the sculpt that just comes out as you work. Next, I went ahead and outlined the eyes at first with a dark brown, and then I did the waterline with a soft pink. And went along the outside of the eye with the dark brown again. And well, I overdrew a little bit. Oops. You know what? Let's just try it on the other side. You know what? I'm just going to give this doll some brown spots around the eyes. I've seen plenty of bunnies and other cats and dogs and stuff that have markings around their eyes, so why not? Let's have fun with this. After all, this is my bunny, right? So I went ahead and overdrew and really just had fun with this part. adding some good contrast to around the eyes. And then I had to give her a little bit of pink cheeks since she's got so much white on her. Or cream, rather. Next, I used a light pink on her watercolor pencil on her toe beans. Oh, you gotta love these little tiny toe beans. They're so cute. The ones on the hands didn't show up as well, but they did get several coats. Next, I used dark brown to outline each of the toes. Although later I did go back in with soft brown and black to fill that in a little bit better and make them blend a bit more. I used acrylic paint for that though. I added highlights above and below both of her eyes, around the corners and just over the arch particularly. I also gave her a highlight above her nose. Next I went in with black to start on the eyeliner and on her eyelashes. I did fill these in later with acrylic paint, black acrylic paint. Mostly just because the watercolor pencil, I got it to build up to a point, but then I got impatient. Next, I gave her some spots, and I just decided I would give her eyebrows for some reason. Then I decided I didn't like it, so I tried erasing them, and oops. That's really in there, so I used a little bit of soap and water on some Q-tips to remove and erase those and dry them again. Because I could still see them a little bit, I went ahead and decided to give some contouring and blushing to the nose. Wow, I love how she came out. And well, surprise! I printed a second Dollightful Bunny. I also have a 3D printer, and I decided that I was going to print another kit. Let's go ahead and I went ahead and removed the foil. I'm not going to, I could call it aluminum, but a friend of mine would say it's aluminium. So however you call it, it's still foil. I put some foil in the head to protect the cord inside, and then I got back to work on this guy. We're going to go with the different color scheme for him. We're going to go with black and white. So since it's pretty much the same process, just different markings, I'm just going to let you enjoy. This is the point that I realized that on the one eye, the black eyelashes weren't going to show up very well. So I did black eyeliner on both. I went ahead and drew the eyelashes in black on the white side of the bunny's face. And then on the dark side of the bunny's face, I used white. Again, I used acrylics later to make these really pop. Then I used like a lavender gray for the darker toe beans for the paws that were black. Then I outlined all the toes with black on this bunny. Then I went back and gave pink toe beans to the white paws. Nice, huh? And this is where I decided to do the back head plate for you guys. I only did half of it because only one ear is black on this one, so we're just going to flush half. Next, I did make some eyes the first time around for these bunnies using polymer clay that I baked in the oven after I got them sculpted to where I thought they would work. And then I coated them first with white acrylic, let it dry. Then for the first set, I made them brown with a milk chocolate brown and some light tan. I added details with a fine brush that I use for 28mm figure painting. At last, I added the iris, and voila! I put that one aside to dry and worked on the other one. Then I started working on the girl's eyes. For her, I'm going with a nice light purple scheme, so we're going with purple and dark purple. I used the lighter purple first, then I used the darker purple to add some details, and then went back in and refined it with the finer paintbrush. Then I outlined it with a darker purple to give the iris edge a little bit more of a color pop. Went back and corrected a little bit, and at last added the iris when that was all dry. Next, I went ahead and put them in, and that's when I realized I had a problem. Well, for the girls' ones, they went on okay, and I used a silicone putty that I had gotten these silicone earplugs for swimming for my daughter, and she ended up not using them at all. I ended up taking them back, and well, they're perfect. They're exactly like silly putty. I imagine they'll eventually dry out, but it keeps everything in place. I even used it to close up the heads. I had tried using magnets, but the teeny tiny magnets I got just weren't strong enough. They were too small. I also gave the eyes one last coat of UV resin before I put them into the dolls, and of course cured it. It wasn't really UV resin, it was UV nail polish. See here, you could see how I did the eyelashes in acrylic. This is when I realized I really had a problem with this one. This set is too big! Oh no, I tried remaking them. In the end, I did end up 3D printing some 10mm BJD doll eyes on my 3D printer. I was printing out other things anyway, and I thought, why not? At this point, I hadn't printed them yet, though. At this point, I was also being stubborn. I did try a second set that I had made by hand and painted them, but this time I used a metallic brown and instead of the light brown, and I think that did come out better. They sit okay, but there is a really big gap in there. I went ahead and stubbornly put on the doll's head, secured it with a ring below the knot, and closed up the head. Time for clothes! At this point, I had made my 3D bunny eyes and painted them and put them in off camera. At this point, my family had an illness in the house, and I still wasn't feeling the greatest, so I didn't do everything on camera this time around, I'm sad to say. Off camera, I sewed a little green vest out of cotton fabric that I had freight checked, and then I added this tiny pocket watch I got from Temu. It's just so perfect, he looks so cute! It's fine and dapper, I tell ya. What to do for her? I want a purple dress for her. I did try... Oh, wait. I forgot something. They don't have tails! Taking tiny pink pom-poms, I took a moment after I put on his vest, used some tweezers and some jewelry glue, and added their tails. Okay, while that dries, let's go ahead and start on her dress. I tried crocheting a dress, and it just wasn't right. I mean, it's cute, but it's just not what I envisioned. So off camera, I created her a new dress out of purple cotton fabric using white bows and flowers I picked up from the craft store. And here they are, my little Easter bunnies. Those new eyes really did fit the bill. They really do fill them out better in the eye sockets. And honestly, they're just so cute together. Oh wow, I don't know why the alarm went off. I don't see anything. Oh wait! Oh my goodness, where'd you guys come from? Eek. Oh, don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you guys. Wow, you two are really cute. Are you the Easter bunnies or his helpers? Oh, and you brought Easter baskets for my kids and eggs! How sweet of you guys! Here, let me help you with those. And why don't you take some treats to go with you guys? I made these tarts just yesterday. Oh, and thank you guys so much for coming. You guys, you're welcome here anytime. Yay! Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed watching me create these beautiful bunnies. Thank you so much to Tiffany and Dollightful. I really love how these came out, and I hope you do too. I'm going to link the STL files for the bunny kit from Dollightful's Thingiverse down below in the comments section. So if you guys want to make your own, go for it. What will you create today? Stay safe, stay tuned. Have a beautiful spring. Bye.